Awesome. Haley Prophet here with For the Kids Foundation and the Encourage to Talk podcast. Excited to be having adult conversations around youth mental health with my friend Matt Besler joining us today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming out. So fun. Second annual event for us. We're so thrilled to be watching the crowd, looking at this growing sport, but also growing event for us. I'd love to just share with us your involvement, how you got introduced to For the Kids, and kind of what brought you to the tournament today.
Yeah, so For the Kids obviously has been around for a number of years now in Kansas City, and I feel like the brand itself has just been growing every year. But I know that pickleball is this actual tournament
it's growing too.
is new. It's the second year. I have some involvement at Chicken and Pickle. I work at Chicken and Pickle, and then I know a bunch of the board members and Kevin Timmons and his family, and so I'm really excited to be here and to play a little pickleball too.
Okay, so let's talk about today. How is it going so far?
It's going. We're just wrapping up the round robin portion of the tournament. So I think those are kind of like the warm-up games, but now we're going into the knockout phase, single elimination. So now the pressure's on.
The pressure's on.
Yeah.
So thinking about, professional athletes and stepping outside of their comfort zone, we're seeing pickleball on the rise. A great way to just train, do something different.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's like you said, it's I think it is the fastest growing sport in America. Yeah. There's a lot of reasons behind that, but I think it's a very approachable game. Anybody can really come and you basically pick up a paddle and it's a plastic wiffle ball and you go and play. And so I think a lot of people enjoy that aspect of it. And it's as competitive as you can make it.
Yeah.
If you want to go and get the competitive juices flowing, you can find a game that's, you're going back and forth. Or if you just want to come out and play and have fun and socialize and eat and drink, that's kind of right. That fits the mold of pickleball too. So I think it appeals to a lot of different people.
What about from a family aspect? Is this something that you and your family enjoy doing together?
So, yes and no. My kids love coming to Chicken and Pickle because it's a pretty fun place for kids. They're still a little too young to actually play pickleball. Okay. I've got a 6, 4, and 2-year-old. So one day they'll be out here.
They're going to be out here and they're going to be just as competitive, I have a feeling.
Oh, that's a little scary to think about, but I think you're right.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about mental health a little bit. And so I'd love to just start as a parent. What does it mean to you to be supporting mental health, youth mental health specifically here in Kansas City?
Yeah, so it's like I said, this is the real reason why we're all here. And I think when you become a parent, first of all, mental health on its own, like for yourself, is hard enough.
Yeah.
But then when you have kids, everybody says it's like you are responsible for other people, and you become very selfless right away. And so you're not even having to deal with your own, not only are you dealing with your own personal mental health, but you've got kids now. And it's hard. It's very hard, and it's scary too, because it's hard to relate to society now, because you think, what's the first thing you do when you're a parent? Like, oh, what did I do when I was a kid? It's a different world now.
It's so different.
You're dealing with just different stuff, and obviously with technology and social media and all those pressures, I think everybody needs help.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of focus on the kids' mental health and giving them resources, which absolutely, that should be the priority. But we all need help too. Right. So the parents need resources to navigate this new world as well. And so this is really ultimately just giving people more resources and raising money for such a good cause.
Yeah, I love that so much. And thank you for saying that, because as we just dropped our first formal podcast episode yesterday, that was part of the conversation Kevin Timmons and I were having. He making the point, as adults, how do we role model that? My kids are older, teens now, but even when they're young, how do you start to establish, how do I role model, whether it's technology boundaries, saying I'm having a hard day and talking through it? How do I role model being resilient and overcoming challenges? And so that's definitely part of that resource piece. And how can we just encourage the entire community to get behind having resources, having leaders, role models that are out there living as if there's no stigma to this, and that's just how we take care of ourselves too.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I I think it's a great start, just having the conversation. That's one thing that I've noticed here in the last 5 years, definitely 10 years, but you mentioned the word stigma, and me, having a professional sports background, communication about mental health really only started happening in the last couple of years, which is a little crazy to think about.
Right.
But I think it needs to happen. And, I think everybody has their own platform, but professional athletes especially, the more we can just talk about it, because it's real. I mean, everybody's dealing with it.
Right.
And, professional athletes, there's a lot of kids that look up to them. And I think if we can make it, normalized and almost cool, like, it's cool to talk about mental health. It's cool to have a mental health coach or listen to podcasts or read books or get help.
Right.
Like that's cool. So
it's no different to share with a friend, family member, neighbor, hey, I'm going to my counseling appointment, just like you would leaving the driveway saying, I'm going to the dentist this morning.
Yeah,
how do we just totally normalize that conversation in everything we're doing?
Yeah, you go to the gym to work out, right? You're working your muscles. Like,
exactly.
Hey, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week. Like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go to my psychologist, or I'm going to go to my support group, or whatever it is. Yeah, totally.
So let's get back to some of the fun of pickleball. Oh. Okay,
so
we'll come back to this. We have to break.
Okay, we will come back. I'm getting called. I'm about to go play pickleball. Let's go.
Let's go.